Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Carver Conservation Commission meeting of Wednesday, March 18th, 2026. This meeting is being cablecast by Area 58 Community Access Media, Channel 15, and will be posted by Area 58 on YouTube as soon as possible. We've got a pretty easy agenda this evening. We'll start with our three discussion items. The first one up is Buckman Park, revised quote on the playground mulch.
All right, so Carl had reached out to bring this to my attention again. This had been brought up by the commission. There were some approvals, like twice, for mulch on Buckman Park Playground, which is managed by the commission. So I found this data in my files, and that's just like a rough estimate of how much would be required, the amount of mulch. And I got a quote for, in total, just to show you, it's about 61 cubic yards of mulch. And I was quoted a total of $3,030, and that is $2,790 for the actual mulch, 62 yards at $45 per yard, and then $240 for the delivery, and it would be 3 deliveries. And I'm working with John Woods from Operations and Maintenance, and I'll put in the order if approved, and then O&M will help with like spreading the mulch and whatnot. So.
All right. Did you find, I think we had voted on an amount of money prior to this?
A couple of times.
A couple of times? Do you know what that was?
I didn't note what the,
okay.
Sorry, but I think it was like not too much less.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I mean, I could also, like, I can
All right, well, we still have to
find
vote
that
on it.
and then,
We still have to vote on it.
Yeah.
To spend the money. Okay.
yeah.
What's the
I mean,
total?
that's just what the estimate is.
What's the total figure right now?
$3,030.
3030?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I think last time it was like high 2000s probably.
Okay.
And definitely went up, but.
Okay. All right. And what is the timing on this?
So once you guys approve it, I'll place the order. It's with Bridgewater Farm Supply,
Okay.
and I'll just have to see how long it seemed like it would be a relatively quick process, but I just got the quote, so.
Yeah, we've waited 2 years, so it's another.
It's another week.
Yeah.
Well, they just told me like just call back and place the order when
Okay.
you're ready, so.
All right. Very good. All right. I'll entertain a motion to authorize $3,030 out of the Conservation Maintenance Fund.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded to pay $3,030 for mulch for Buckman Park. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. That's approved 5-0. Friends of Miles Standish, our next item. Friends of Miles Standish State Forest signage for Concom property.
You guys can correct right up there.
Okay, my name is Bill Rickstrom with the
Just-
Friends of Mountain.
just-
Just sit at the table. There's a microphone right here at this
Okay.
table, and sign in, please.
And just sign your name and.
Yeah, there's a microphone right there. Thanks.
Okay, my name is Bill Rickstrom. I've been a long-time member of the Friends of Mount Standish group in Carver and Plymouth, and we were given a grant by the Carver Cultural Council to do this project titled Self-Guided Eco Tour, and it was to be along the Easthead Reservoir Trail. A group spent about 150 hours working on this project, and unfortunately, we were ready to go to the next level to get it installed and have the signs made for this project. The head up people in Boston decided that they wanted to do a similar project their own way, and they stalled us on the project. We had the grant to do it. We were 2/3 of the way through the project. They're ready to make the signs and get them in the ground, but they said no. We wanted to do it our way, so we came back and approached the Carver Trails Committee, and they liked what we presented, and they said they'd be willing to have what we've done, and we wanted to do it the Cole property, which is a
Okay.
perfect property, a lot of trails in there, and it really would dress that property up, and we want to do this project in a way to educate people of the environment. And we had 10 signs made depicting various parts of the environment, mainly plants, and we had a turtle sign, a deer sign, and mainly trees and plants. And we thought we did a really nice job with it, but we didn't want this project to go to waste, so thankfully Carver seems receptive, and we want to present this to this commission now, since I was told that you own the property.
Okay.
So we're ready to go as soon as we can get together and meet privately and have a tour of the property and decide where we want to do the signs, where to place them. I can tell you what we have. We have signs for white pine, pitch pine, scrub oak, gray birch, cranberries, red-bellied cooter, deer, sweet pepperbush, wintergreen, and inkberry. I have some samples I can pass around in a few minutes. There are 11 by 18 signs made by a quality sign company called Brenner Signs in Plymouth, and there would be hardy outdoor worthy signs that would hold up for the long term. And we had a theory on how to do this. We wanted to keep the sign simple. We hired a graphic artist to make some nice graphics of various topics and put them in the centerpiece of the sign, along with the title and the Latin word for this, the bushel plant, and then a small 250 character wording of what the sign depicted. We wanted to keep it simple, and we wanted to keep it for a 7th grade level, just for easy reading and to attract more people to look at it as they go by. And we also included a QR code with far more information behind the scenes at our Friends of Miles Standish website that would go with the sign. So,
Okay.
So everything's ready to go. It's just a matter of meeting and having a site walk with you, but we'd like to show you, we'd like to get your approval for us, and we'd like to show you what we have for signs and how they look.
All right, the signs are already done?
Well, the signs are not done. The signs are in Word format, PDF
Okay.
format.
Okay.
And we have a sign maker ready to make them for us, but we got to get the go-ahead to do it.
Okay.
So-
The QR code directs people to the Miles Standish site?
Yes, but it would not be specifically Miles Standish information. It would be information about the whole environment in this area. It's Pine Barrens related, but a lot of the plants and animals are
Okay.
the same. And we thought the Cole property would really be a great place to do this.
Okay. Is there anything underneath the QR code that indicates where that directs you? Where the QR code directs you? My concern is that that someone, a Carver resident who's in a Carver Conservation Park would focus on the QR code and get to a state forest without, and maybe there'd be like, why did this QR code take me there instead of something Carver related or coal property related?
I think that maybe, Charlie, you can add to this, but I think we made it just to be specifically to the sign that we're creating. That didn't have to be any particular location. I don't know if we mentioned
okay.
Miles Standish or not. Maybe if we did, we could certainly correct that to be generic.
I don't know how big a deal it is. I'm just wondering if it might
It
be
goes to the
confusing.
Friends of Miles Standish, not
Yeah.
the state side.
Yeah, we're a friends group, and we do things in the forest with the DCR, but we're an independent organization, nonprofit.
Okay. All right, you said you have a sample of one of them?
Yes.
One of the ones that we did already is the cooter, which you don't have on the Cole property, so
No red-bellied cooters and no pitch pines, which I
You can
can't
put
believe.
the cooter one over by the pickleball courts.
Yeah, put it on the fence.
I don't full
That's
final
fine,
draft.
that's fine.
There's samples of how they would look.
Oh, I see. Okay, this is nice.
Yeah, they did, they got a great artist that did.
And one thing we did agree on the last meeting is that we could push the Carver Conservation Commission and maybe the Cultural Council and the Trails Committee, Trail Stewards Committee on it also.
That'd be good.
Okay. Oh, these are nice.
Yeah, they're really nice. I've seen them.
We made them to blend in with the environment, the tall green, and might not be too,
This is the actual size?
yeah.
Yeah, that's the size. And they'd be
11 by
enclosed
17.
and you had your grant's gonna include the, like, the casing that you're putting over these and all that? Is it all included, or?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's gonna be the side maker, they're all to the sides.
Right,
The sides
so-
actually made out of metal with a
The metal
durable coating
substrate.
on top.
Yeah.
And how are they gonna be mounted, like?
Just be on 4x4 posts.
Uh-huh. Oh, just like a metal, straight up, like vertical?
Yep, straight up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Might be some duplicates in there, but
Yeah, looks like got some duplicates, yeah.
get there here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
You just scrub all over it. Give a great work already.
I saw
Yeah, you
great
gave
work
us
for
great
that.
work, yeah.
White pine, okay.
Did you wanna see these?
Oh, sorry about that.
Kept the train going.
Yeah, I think you get the idea. And then
Yeah.
at the beginning of the trail, already with the kiosk is would have a introductory sign of the South Tiger Eagle Tour. We would utilize some of the trails in there. I know there's marked trails, white, orange, and blue. And I think they're about 2.5 miles altogether, so these would be spaced apart along the way. It would be kind of like a search thing to search out the signs and just learn along the way. It's kind of geared toward kids.
Right.
Yeah.
We want to educate people more on the
Duplicates, just keep them all
environment. And then the QR code
Oh, okay.
adds a lot more behind the scenes if you want.
Okay.
So I think the posts are short, so they're made for kids, like they're not too tall.
Right,
so
okay,
kids could-
yeah, yeah, that's fine.
All right.
I have a quick question. Like, are these final draft of them?
No, these are some earlier drafts that we printed out. We made a few corrections, but Sarah Hewels currently has the original signs when we had a meet, so we're trying to get them back from her.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, just,
Yeah.
because I was gonna ask about with the QR codes. Like, sometimes when you generate QR codes, they're only temporary, so I was just gonna ask if, like, you guys know for sure, like, they're, like,
I think they're on a Friends of Mount Stanley's website, but I can't imagine them going away unless
So it's been there a long
something goes
time.
on with our group, but we've been around since 2007.
Yeah.
We're
Well,
going
yeah.
strong as a group, and this is
I guess I
great.
could just talk to whoever, like, has the digital file about that, just to, like, to make sure.
Are you thinking they should be on the town site too, is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying the
That they might
physical
expire.
QR
Oh,
codes,
right.
depending on how you generate them,
Uh-huh.
they are only, like, they'll stop working
Oh, I see.
after a certain time, unless you make, like a, I guess,
You need a
permanent
license
one.
from some kind of permanent.
I think it just depends on which, like, QR code
Yeah.
website, or, like, generator website you work. So, I mean, I can ask,
Do they
like,
work now?
Yeah.
well, yeah, no, that's just like a background concern.
Yeah, it's an admin thing, yeah.
Like a technical thing.
I'll try to read more about that for you, Bill.
Yeah.
You mentioned having the possibility of putting them on a Carver site, the town site.
Yeah, I don't know, I just don't know, I don't know how it works exactly, yeah.
I don't know if that might be possible, and that would obviate the problem of routing people over to Miles Standish on their website to have it on the town's
town site, yeah.
website. I don't
Right,
know how
but,
much-
yeah, yes, that would eliminate that problem, but what you're saying, though, is that it directs it to the Friends of Miles Standish, which would give more information on each of the individual things that you're showcasing. That wouldn't be on the Carver site.
Well, the QR code information could reside on the Carver town site as well, I suppose. There's only, a couple of pages with each QR code.
Right.
I wrote them, so,
Okay.
and they can always be adjusted and changed however we
It's not a
need.
huge deal,
No,
I just,
it's-
yeah, yeah.
I mean, if we could add a Carver Conservation logo or
Yes.
something, if you guys were open, without linking to anywhere,
Right.
that might address I agree with your concerns, just so people understand it's a joint effort.
Right. Well, I just even think something underneath the QR code that says, this QR code will direct you to the Friends of Miles Standish
Right.
Okay.
website.
Sure.
I think
We could certainly add that. We can alter the signs any way you want. They're not done, they're not a finished product. We was talk about having the logos for the Carver, your council, commission, and then maybe the Cultural Council, and maybe the Trail Stewards Committee being on the sign also, getting recognition for this project. But we can put, it's a Carver project that we're offering to, so we can alter it any way you want it.
Okay.
Good.
All right.
But prefer to keep the way the signs are now. We put
Yeah.
a real lot of time on designing these and redesigning and getting them to the point where they're at.
Yeah, I know, I like
What you're
this.
looking at now is not the finished product. I think it
Okay.
might, one of for us, a second draft.
All right. Are the final drafts that Sarah Hewins has, are they in digital form somehow that you could send them to Olivia? The final draft?
The PDFs.
Yeah, they're PDF files, so I could certainly send them to you.
Yeah, so we could take a look at where it stands
Olivia.
right now.
There's no sign, so.
The trouble is, one thing we have to do is this, 2 signs we made for Miles Standish that wouldn't really be applicable for here. Red Belly Cooter, and
Yeah.
we did find a single pitch pine, hard to believe, but we couldn't find a pitch pine on the property, so we decided to replace that with maybe high bush blueberries and black huckleberry, which are very prevalent throughout the property.
Okay.
But we could, but there are other options too. We
Such
could-
as sassafras, the box turtle may be a possibility. What else did we say? Red maple.
Yeah, a lot of red maples in the swampy areas, so
Yeah.
there are other signs we could make and replace with the
Okay.
ones we do have.
So the Friends of Miles Standish is paying for all this, right? There's no,
They got
Yeah.
a grant.
they got a
Yep.
grant, so, I mean, it's not,
Okay.
it doesn't really cost the town anything, really, except time a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's just volunteer time to,
Yeah.
No, well, like, the grant comes
And-
from Carver though, right?
yeah, it does come from Carver, so that's why we came
Oh,
here
okay.
to.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So I think it was appropriate to come here.
Yeah.
Okay,
And we
great.
did have Dan Badger with the Scouts that said he would help us with installing the post in the ground when the time is ready
Okay.
for that.
Yeah, Dan used to be a member here.
The other conditions that our grant expires at the end of this year, but
Okay.
we're,
Oh, we'll act on that.
once you decide to move ahead on that, I have a project list of things to do, and I think we could get this going really quickly now that winter's almost over. And
Okay. Very good.
And I'd be happy to work with you guys on like final
Yeah, and
draft.
do you wanna-
and whatnot, and-
Yeah, so,
Help out with this as
yeah,
well?
so we hiked together, so he had been talking to me about this, and he was saying this might be a good, I said, I think it would be great. I mean, we're getting beautiful signs for a
Okay.
property, and I'm happy to help with, I've done sign installation on trails, so I'm happy to help Bill on when that comes. I'm
Great.
happy to.
Yeah, if you could work with Olivia on that.
I will,
And with
yep.
the Friends, that'd be
Yep,
great.
Yep.
Thank you, Olivia.
thank you.
All right, well, thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much.
Thank you so much. I have your email address. I'll send you a few samples if you.
Thank you very
We
much.
appreciate all the work
We
on it.
appreciate it. We'll get this done quickly and get a site visit done and
Do we have to vote on this or anything, or?
I suppose we could. I mean, I'll accept a motion to accept the signage for the Cole property from the Friends of Miles Standish.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to accept the signs from the Friends of Miles Standish. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, we're approved 5-0. Thanks again.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
It'll be a
Thank
nice
you,
addition.
Bill and Charlie.
It's a great property
you.
up there. All right,
Yeah.
Take these.
next up in our pre-application discussion is Rochester Road, Lot 1. Wait a second.
Is this lot 1 or not?
No, that's lot 2.
This is what?
There's no
Just- that's the
physical
hearing.
copy.
I have a couple paper copies if you guys would like some.
Is this, it's lot 1?
Somebody else gets
No,
it.
I
this
think
is,
that's later. He's
That's the hearing.
bringing
Yeah.
one to talk
yeah, that's
Oh,
the,
I get, I got.
to. I was confused.
Do you, would you guys like, I only have 2 of them, but would you like? Yeah, sure, I'll take
Yeah,
it.
and I have it up on the screen too.
I can put it-
She's gonna pull it up on the screen here. Well, you can give us one, we'll kind of share.
Oh,
Down the pen, huh?
Yeah, fine.
So
This is lot 1.
Okay, because I have it right up here.
Oh, you have it in your... Here's it.
I want to look something up. I'm going to just look at our maps real quickly.
You what?
I want to look at Google Maps here, just want to look at Main Street, what we did down by the church. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, lot 1's the one waiver. Over here. Oh, I got you. Oh, that's the one. It's by the
Okay,
exi-
okay.
it's by the existing house, I got it.
All right, so you want to start us off? Or-
So, Jake?
Yep, so Jacob and Lisa Braley of 78 Rochester Road, here to speak about 19 Rochester Road, Lot 1.
So he had come to me about either, or with a revised plan, and I had brought this to the meeting, or the last meeting, seeing if it could fall under an amended or a new filing, a new notice of intent filing, and you guys decided based off of the increased impacts and whatnot that it should be a new filing. And he just wanted the opportunity, kind of like a pre-application discussion, like an informal discussion about the plan, just as, you know, as he's doing the application or the filing. He can keep those things in mind.
All right, do you have
Like
the
that.
original that you can pull up as well?
Yeah, so
Please.
this is the approved, this is SE 126 688, and this is the approved site plan.
So this is what we,
This is the one we approved.
This was
May?
approved, I think, like, what was it, last May-ish.
Yeah.
This plan's dated 4/8/2025.
Okay,
So.
right. And in this one, the driveway is almost completely outside of the 65-foot buffer zone. It runs through that little narrow
where the existing house is.
where
Correct, yeah.
where the existing structure is.
Yeah.
So that was what we approved last year.
Right.
And now the new one. The new one, they're keeping the structure, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And moving the driveway, a good portion of it.
In 65.
Within the 65.
Well into the 65.
Oh, okay.
We did a site walk today. We went out and looked at it again. And
I saw you guys, but I didn't know who you were.
Oh, you were
We were out there for a lot too,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they're like next to each other, it's like, yeah, it's all the same.
So as you saw when you were there, there's an existing gravel driveway which falls on now Lot 2, which goes back to the kind of pre-existing barn garage that was back there. So our thought was if we could also do if you guys allow it, a gravel driveway, that would get us to the back of the lot so we could do the proposed home, which follows the same kind of pre-existing approval that you had before. And that would allow us to keep the smaller house in the front, and our hope is to have that be an accessory dwelling unit for the back property. As you can see, there's the two other kind of additions that are kind of within the 65-foot buffer zone. The holding tank for the existing house is off the back of it now, so that's within the 65. And then I propose putting a fence up just to create a little yard for the ADU.
So this is sorry. So you're gonna keep the house, you're gonna add a septic tank, and it's gonna be linked to the other septic system?
Yeah, so it'll be one leaching field.
That's behind the proposed new house.
Correct, yeah.
Right, okay, I get it. So,
So each house will have its own tank, but
we have to pump it up to the other one, to the leaching field? I get you.
What would prevent you from putting that tank between the two 65s?
Just move it over a little bit?
Move it to the,
I'm not an engineer, but I certainly think that could work. I wouldn't see why not.
So the big changes are, the house is staying, you're putting in a new septic, and the driveway's changing. There's three things that's different from before, right? That's the only differences?
And a fence if I could, but
Fence?
that's not a big deal.
Where's that now?
It kind of follows the,
Oh, the little block squares?
yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I thought that was silt fence, but,
It's both.
Yeah, there's a silt fence on the outside of the, is the outside
oh, but it's also,
block,
oh,
and
I
then
see.
the inside with the
Proposed
round
fence.
post.
Okay, actually
Yeah.
a fence. And what kind of fence would that be?
I'd like to do a privacy fence, but
Like
like
a-
a standard picket type
That
thing.
you can't see through?
Correct.
Right. I got you.
I'd also like to fill in kind of, or I'd like to get your opinion on filling in the area behind, like where the fence is to the existing house with some native trees, just to, as you saw, the lot was cleared, so to put some stuff in there.
okay.
Is
I know-
this where the drainage ditch was?
No.
No, that's the other
yeah,
lot,
that's-
okay.
That's later.
That's the other one.
All right, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So keep
No,
it
this
there.
is where we parked.
Right,
Yeah.
There are people working there.
yep.
All right, so who owns the adjoining property where the existing gravel driveway is?
I actually do.
He does.
Okay. And that driveway is necessary to get to that back building?
For them, yes.
All right,
I don't want to answer for you, but
Yes.
that was you.
okay. All right. This is a lot more invasive into the 65-foot buffer zone than your original plan, by quite a bit.
I understand.
And what basically it's going to do is going to create parallel driveways within the 65-foot, one that's existing and another one that's new. And we had a similar situation like this on two houses just north of Union Church on South Main Street, on the west side, where it was a similar situation. And what we asked the builder to do, and he did it, was to create a single driveway with a Y in it and have a shared driveway or an easement for one of the homes over a portion of the other driveway, so that it was less invasive.
Okay.
I mean, that was a little bit different. I'm not sure about the,
We have no relationship, so
Okay,
it's
so-
already been divided, and we all, like,
Okay.
we're not. In that case, the builder was developing the lot, so it was a little bit easier for him to.
yeah, it
kind
was
of-
one builder
Yeah.
developing both lots, so it was easier for him to, set that as this is how it's going to be, and now I'm going to build my two houses. So I'm just wondering if there's any way to have a single driveway for the first, what's the scale here? For the first 70 feet, and then have it split. And diverge off to the existing barn structure and to the new home up the hill. That's kind of what I'm looking at as a potential solution. I wasn't aware of the fence. I thought that was silt fencing as well. Wasn't aware of it being an actual fence. Is that you're having the fence go all the way around the property, or is that just?
No, the property extends 100 and something feet to the left, so it's just
Oh.
kind of a small backyard area.
Right, but the privacy fence goes, is it
The privacy fence is just,
Oh, it's around, oh, I see,
All the blocks.
it's very small, yeah.
it's not the black squares, it's the smaller
Oh, it's small,
circles.
it's your circles.
And it just
Oh.
goes around the smaller house in front, correct?
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
The black squares are the silt fence,
Oh, I got you,
I
got you.
just for
got you.
construction.
All right, then never mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Fences are expensive, that'd be a lot.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So, I'd like to, I'm not a big fan of having two parallel driveways in the 65-foot buffer. And I'd like to see if there's some way to work out a deal that there could be a shared entryway with whatever easement needs to be granted. Just, take a look at it, investigate what the possibilities are of doing that. That would be one of my suggestions, and I'm open to anything else that anybody else has to say about this.
I mean, I guess the only other thing would also be considering moving the septic tank out of the 65-foot if it's
Yeah.
possible.
That's an easy one. The driveway is gonna be
But you said you
difficult.
also want to fill back behind the house also?
Sorry, what was the question?
You said you want to maybe do some filling behind the existing house, the little house that's there now?
Not fill, but trees.
I think I said fill it with trees.
Fill it with trees.
Oh, fill
Plant-
with trees,
plant.
oh.
Some native.
Fill it with trees.
Yeah.
Oh, fill it with trees.
Fill it with
Oh,
trees, yeah.
oh,
Because I don't know if you remember, but the lot from just pre-existing times is basically a flat, clear lot.
Right.
So like even putting in the driveway, there's no clearing that has to be done. It's just, it's grass right now. So I'd like to fill that in with some, native species to,
The fence itself, there has to be because it's in the wetlands, it has to be a foot above the ground for creatures.
okay,
And you can put, I think it's called creature fencing, and it's like 6x4 squares of wire
okay.
that most animals can get through, but it's still, it doesn't, it's not opaque, but it's, it's part of the fence that would keep dogs in, things like that, but allow smaller animals to get in and out, and anything else that's in there. Anybody else have any comments, any questions?
Well, related to the moving the septic tank, would that open the thought process back up to two parallel driveways?
No, that they're independent of each other.
Okay.
The moving the septic tank is just, if it can be
We just like to
done-
keep things out of the.
Yeah, the 65-foot zone by our bylaws is a no-touch zone. So, what we start with here is that the way it is today is the way it is, and you can't touch it. So that's why your original plan of not keeping the house and going through the middle was
Ideal.
ideal. It was a good solution, and it did not disturb. And we saw that today, and yes, it's grass. It's a lawn between the existing house and the gravel driveway that goes back to the barn. And, there's not much in the way of wetland growth that makes it look like that. But still, it's within the 65-foot of the wetland, which is adjacent to the existing gravel driveway. So it still falls within that purview. It's the ability of rainwater and everything else to have a open ground to filter through, to get into the aquifer and to maintain the cleanliness of all of the wetlands.
If we're not able to do the easement option, could we do instead of like a completely gravel driveway, just a gravel lane driveway, so we maintain like the grass buffer in the middle of the two, like, call it tire marks, and so that would give you the drainage option and less disturbance. The easement's gonna be a difficult thing to attain in reality. So just trying to find a workaround that we can make it work. And with the way that driveway kind of the pre-existing driveway veers off, if we were to do a Y, we'd still have a pretty significant piece of driveway to make anyways. It wouldn't be like, 65 feet, but it would be 45 feet of a Y driveway.
Right, but if,
It just isn't a lot of wiggle room here.
No,
It's just,
I think the only reason it was approved before.
yeah, we were
Memory
hesitant to
correct,
approve before because of the issues. Yeah.
was because the driver was gonna go through that gap.
Yeah,
That's the only reason we really approved it in the first place.
I understand.
So you see the hurdles we're trying to get through here.
With all the housing issues in town, it's,
I know.
I've been trying to make it work, so this
No,
would be a
and
good
I-
opportunity to have
I
a,
commend you for that, but we gotta kind of stick with what we do.
okay.
yeah.
I don't know, I wouldn't be comfortable with the driveway over there.
I mean, there's no way to go back to the original plan? Is that like, are you too far beyond that or something like that, or is it?
You're asking to just take out
Yeah, take out.
The building?
Go back to what you originally did.
Go back to what was approved.
Yeah.
well, the idea was to potentially have an additional house, yeah. You-
We get it, but
But we're kind of stuck.
sometimes you just can't do that, you know, that's, you know.
Yeah, if we can't get this approved, then we're gonna stick with the original smaller house and not do the bigger house in the back.
I mean, and I will just say, like, the commission right now is not approving or denying this plan, just because this is
No, I
just
understand.
discussion.
No, we're just
so.
giving you feedback, like honest feedback on, you know, what, in general, we just don't want to see anything within 65 feet, so.
We try really hard to not
And
do
especially
that, because we let one.
Septic components. and
Yeah, we
all.
don't want to, we don't.
We have a
wanna set-
precedent we gotta maintain.
Yeah, we don't
Understand.
want to set new precedent in situations like this.
Unfortunately, I'd like to see you go back to the original. That's my opinion, but.
I kind of would too.
I
And that
mean,
was,
I understand what you're doing with a house, but, yeah. I mean,
yeah, there's no other real alternative. There's
I mean, the
nothing else
original
to
was
do.
already something we barely thought was okay.
It was just.
That's how I remember it, but
Yes, and we approved it because it was the only option
It was the
to
only
allow
option,
the house to
yeah.
be done in the back.
right.
Yeah, so, yeah, this is quite invasive. This plan, the way it is right now, is pretty invasive to the 65-foot, and I don't know if I could support that. So,
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for coming before.
Thank you.
We
Sorry.
really appreciate it. Sorry about that.
appreciate it, but,
Do you want these back?
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Better to know now than do all the work.
No, thank you for coming in.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Thank you.
okay. Our two continued public hearing, well, the first continued public hearing at 0 Fuller Street has been, there's been a request to push it forward to May 6th.
No, wait, Fuller
No.
Street?
Fuller.
No, that's,
It's
they just
next.
continued to April.
April 1st,
Yeah,
Oh, continue to April 1st?
next meeting.
yeah.
Okay. So, I'll entertain a motion to continue 0 Fuller Street till April 1st.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to continue 0 Fuller Street. There's no NOI number yet?
For Fuller Street, it's 701. So SE 126, 701.
Okay. All right. SC 126-701. All right, it's been moved and seconded to continue this till April 1st. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. It's approved 5-0. And that's 2 weeks from tonight. All right, 0 Golden Pond, the request for the determination of applicability. When we last left this, we had continued it with an unknown date. We believe now, and that was based on the fact that we needed to go on a site visit and see what was going on there. And I believe that now the weather's clearing, that we can go on a site visit on the morning of May 6th.
No. Well, it's more like at some point, but they're expecting to be able to come back to discuss on the enforcement order on May 6th.
So they're not even ready to do a sidewalk yet with this?
They gave us a time range.
Yeah, so-
Of 4 days. She can
The
tell you.
communication I've got about the enforcement order that's like on the same matter of the RDA is that they're doing the field work for delineation next week. They offered a possible site walk between March 27th and 31st. And then they will be compiling a report based off of their field work over a couple weeks, and in the order, we requested at least a week in advance to receive the report before the meeting, the next time they would come before the commission. So they suggested May 6th. So
For-
we would,
To come
May
to our
6th to
meeting.
come back to
To
a
come back.
meeting. But I know, like, you won't be in town.
I won't be here.
We could talk about either doing the site walk closer to May 6th or something else. I can follow up on with that. But we would have a site walk before May 6th. So I think it would be good to continue the hearing until May 6th. And if we haven't done a site walk by then, you can continue it further.
Okay.
And we don't have to visit the site. We can visit the site the same day, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah.
I mean,
And the
we-
only thing is Beals and Thomas was gonna meet us when we do the site walk, that's all.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they'd be willing to do that in May.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do some coordination to find
Yeah.
a good time to go out. And I think it would honestly, in my opinion, might be better to go out on the sidewalk after we've received the report.
Right.
You know, and between March 27th and 31st, they weren't indicating there would be a report by then.
That's
so,
right.
Okay.
It might
All
be
right.
worth it to
So
wait anyways.
So we may want to just continue this to May 6th with the real possibility that we'll continue it again.
Yeah, May 6th and with a site walk there.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion to continue, to put a date on the continuation of Zero Golden Pond, the RDA, to May 6th of 2026.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to continue Zero Golden Pond Road till Wednesday, May 6th. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. That's approved. All right, next up, new public hearing. Rochester Road, Lot 2. This is an amended order of conditions. Notice is hereby given in accordance with the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, MGL Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Carver Wetlands Protection Bylaw, that a public hearing will be held at 7:00 p.m. on Wednesday, March 18th, 2026, in meeting room number 1 at the Carver Town Hall, to hear the request for an amendment to existing order of conditions, SE 1260690, submitted by Stephen Edwards to modify approved site plans to build a new single-family dwelling with attached garage, septic system, well, water line, driveway, and associated grading within the 100-foot buffer zone to a bordering vegetated wetland. This project is located at 2 Rochester Road, Carver, Massachusetts, Assessors Map 90, Lot 5-1. All interested parties are invited to attend. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Greg Drake from Outback Engineering, representing Steve Edwards. He is proposing to do the following changes to the approved plan. I have actually put both plans on here. This is the approved one that was I did last year, and this is the new one right here. So the first, he wanted to change the style of the house from a 4-bedroom colonial to a 3-bedroom ranch, and move it to the back of the site where the original is in the front. And the footprint of the ranch is larger, but still only 40% is within 100. It's definitely less than 50% inside that 100-foot buffer. The septic system has been reduced because the bedroom's reduced on the house. So that's like 30 to 40% on that. And that has been moved to the front of the house. Originally it was in the back. And all the components of the septic system are outside the 100. There's a little bit of the overdig is inside the 100, just a little bit, but all the actual septic components are outside the 100, as the commission likes. Let's see, the next thing is there is a 50-foot long, 4-foot tall high wall that's on the original. We no longer need that, so that wall has been removed. That was down in this location. The driveway has been extended and adjusted to accommodate the new house and garage. All of the work, all of these proposed changes do not encroach into the 65-foot no-touch. Silt fencing has been adjusted to act as the limit of work, as it did before, and so I open up to any questions you have from there.
Okay. Just doing some little calculations here with the scale. Okay. All right, any comments from the commission?
How far off the back corner of that wall is it to the 65 at the top of the drawing there? At its
Which-
closest point
Which,
on the proposed.
Yeah.
on the new-
That's what I was just looking at. It looks to be
You mean
about
like the
7
porch?
feet.
How close is what's the closest point to the 65 foot on the house, the proposed house, the new
oh,
plan?
back here,
Yeah.
I don't have,
It looks to be
what's
about 7
7,
feet.
7, 10 feet, something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, based on the scale. That's what I was measuring before. The
Got a lot of work inside the 100 foot.
Yeah, there's a lot of, and also there's
a lot of work inside the 65.
a porch too that's
Porch.
added, that's
Yeah, there's a big porch out there
their
too.
back. That's a little, there's a lot more than we originally,
Yeah.
Is this a big-
Generally, it's just about the same amount of area disturbance, though, because it just shifted to the back as opposed to being way up front where we had a wall. So, I mean,
With the,
generally, it's the same disturbance in the
explain that
65.
to me real quick? Yeah.
It's generally the same amount of disturbance. Right now, this was all down close, we had to put that wall in.
Oh, I got
See,
you.
now it's all pushed back, we have no wall, and,
So there's less disturbance on this side, but more on the other side, is what you're saying?
yeah, so this
Right.
disturbance, Jason, generally shifted, but it's generally the same amount of disturbance on that, in that 65-foot buildable area, in both of them.
Right.
But I think the house of this one there's a much greater percentage outside of the 100.
Inside
Inside of
the
the 100 foot,
No, it's only 40%, this one had 25.
25.
25, yeah.
40% is in.
Yeah, it's a larger square footage house. It's
Larger
actually-
square
Yeah.
footage house is actually a much nicer house. It's gonna fit into the setting much better than a two-story colonial. It's gonna
Right.
have a,
Does that 40% include the porch too?
no, it doesn't, because we didn't include the deck on the last one, so.
Right, you know, that obviously increases that 40% a little bit more.
Yeah, that doesn't have the foundation, though. That's, so I was figuring that you're doing it by foundation, not by,
It's still impervious.
Has it got a roof over it? Porches
well, it's
usually have a roof.
porch, has a roof,
So
yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
So it is, yeah, it's impervious, so.
Well, this is, this is an awful lot of house in the 65.
In the 100.
In the 100, yeah.
Yes, yeah, well, between the 100 and the 65.
Right.
Right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah, it's very close to the 65.
Yes, yeah, between the 100 and the 65. I would like to,
Olivia, do you have the old one also?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you, yeah, that would be
Yeah.
helpful.
All right. Thank you. And the driveway is a little more, well, a lot more actually.
yeah,
So there's a couple issues there. The
Yeah,
house
the
is
driveway.
bigger.
The driveway got pushed over, a lot of this
Right.
area now is not touched, so
Right.
it's kind of a
Right.
give and take on that.
Right.
where it was touched before.
Is the driveway gravel or cement?
Well, it has to be gravel, right? Or
It would have to be,
Sorry.
yeah.
It would have to be.
in the 100, yeah, you require that.
It's just not noted on the plan, that's all.
Yeah.
Well,
Again, there's not a lot of room to work with on these lots here, so.
again, we're in a situation where the first plan was better. From a standpoint of permanent disturbance and impervious surface.
In the amount that's within the 100 foot. And
Yeah.
We have lots of people come to us asking to put, so like that's one of the reasons
Yeah.
we focus on. This was almost,
As I mentioned in the last meeting when we did this one, you wanted them 50% or less, right? Be in the 100, so it's only 40%. I mean,
Well,
it is more than the original house, but it is less than 50% of the house is in the 100.
Okay. Yeah, granted, that's correct. What I would like to find out is the amount of square feet that are within the 100-foot buffer zone on both the first plan and the second plan. And I would like the porch included in that, because that's going to be an impervious surface. And the porch should be included in the square footage of the house as well, because it's disturbance of the land. So I would like to get those numbers. I mean, it seems to me as though you may have, where's the first one again?
No, sorry. That's the first.
Okay.
This is approved.
All right, and the second one? Yeah. You may have doubled, maybe even tripled the amount of impervious surface within the 100-foot buffer with this new design. So I would like to see that. I'd like to see
Is there any way to do something else with the septic system? Where you could actually move the whole house over and have the septic systems like down towards the road more? And
Well, that's where the wells for
That's the well.
the lots
Yeah,
are
right there.
limiting us, the
Yeah,
150
gotcha.
foot.
Yeah, I
And
gotcha.
that's,
Okay, I understand.
Well,
and then you have, obviously, it's a constrained site by the wetlands, so
Right,
we're
right.
working the best we can to keep it out of,
I got it.
This is a tough site, all these lots were tough.
And also, when we were out there, there's another thing that we noted was that there's a, there's a wetlands there on the left, on the lower left there, but there's also wetlands on the right, and there's a open waterway, a little ditch or whatever, it looks like it was a stream, going from one to the next one, and we don't really want that filled in.
it's like a canal, like
Yeah,
a
see that
man-made
thing?
canal.
yeah, it was a man-made canal, because that
Yeah,
ended
that-
up being, we had a whole discussion on whether that was an upland
Yeah, but
bog, and
we
we
were there
determined
today,
it
though, and
was.
it's full of water and it's running from one to
Yeah,
the
well,
other.
there's been so much, obviously, snow and rain.
Right.
I mean, it's running from one wetland
I mean-
to the property, which isn't a wetland, and
We
back
would
into
just
a
like
wetland
that,
property.
we would like that
so-
kept open, you know, at least
Yeah,
culvert
that's,
there.
that can be a condition.
Right, right.
You know,
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
the owner would want that too, he doesn't want
Right,
flooding in his
right,
own property, so.
Just,
Yeah,
just to be
that
sure,
makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah. That's interesting.
I mean, I think another concern is that the porch is so close to the 65 no touch that most people don't have a porch and then not go beyond that. So we're concerned that you know, over time, that could just lead to disturbance in the 65. It's really close.
Yeah, it's real close. The house is real close.
Yeah, I mean, I understand you don't have a lot to work with, so.
The septic system seems to be narrow enough to fit between the narrowest point of the 100-foot buffer. If you were to angle it and put it there,
And then move the
Talking
house.
and then
Right.
move the house,
Were you talking somewhere in here?
yeah.
Yeah, but then you're in the problem. I think
Then we
you're
got
running
well
into
issues.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Where, the well's down over here.
There's a well radius here and
You got another proposed well over here.
the well for lot,
You see the well radius on the map?
The well,
Yeah.
the well radius is,
Circle.
that whole spot.
that's what pushed it up into there, is because of the well radius from
From that well
lot
there.
3, yeah.
This is 150-foot well.
That's from this well.
That one.
Actually, where it is, it
Here's
just
one.
barely clears the lot 3 well.
Yeah, that's why it's,
Yeah.
Where's,
Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, here's one here. Oh, I got you. So here's a radius here.
oh, I see.
There. This one.
The well isn't in though, right,
Oh, I
for the
didn't see
one?
that one.
Let's see.
Oh,
Oh, I'm trying to think. Oh, I see the radius for that one.
and it's lot
Oh,
3.
man.
Okay.
It's really tight here. So here's a well.
I mean, I have a question, like, looking at the map, is it possible to move the septic closer to the well radius and like shift the house to be more, like, to be a little more outside of the buffer?
I
Or
mean,
did you
we,
come across like problems with that?
I think it's there because of the
I'm
two well
guessing,
radiuses.
Looking at the radius you got drawn in here. that-
Because they're just,
you
you know,
can't
comes
move
right
that.
into
You
that.
can't move
You
it.
So
can't move it
definitely.
anywhere.
Yeah. Looking at which
Oh,
radius,
yeah,
though.
You got two.
Yeah, you got the well from
There's three,
the- that,
Yeah.
that property and then the well from the property next door.
Well,
Yeah.
this is one radius, and this is the other one that
It's
comes from
three.
right here. Like, this is where the two radiuses come together, right at that point right there.
But the wells aren't in yet.
No,
And this is from this one.
that's from that one. See this one?
So the wells could be moved, right? I mean,
Yeah,
technically.
put the well up here, on the next door, lot 3. Move the well all the way to the back of the property.
Who owns lot 3?
Oh, that's
Lot 3 has the well there.
That's
Oh,
well
it
as our,
does.
Where?
Yeah, so that well would be hard to move.
Lot 3?
Yeah, I think, is that,
No, that house, that's proposed.
oh.
That's
Oh, this is
proposed.
lot
That's
three.
proposed well.
Right.
That's a proposed well. The only well that, there's over on the lot, over to the left,
Right.
lot 1.
So you think the well's in or on lot?
No, I mean, it's, again, it's the same issue as we were
Same.
talking about earlier. It's another owner, and they
Right,
have
right.
their plan and
Right.
No,
and
I
their
got it.
septic system, and it all works with their
I
plan.
gotcha.
So it.
These are all
we start-
separate
These are
owners
all
now?
separate
These are all
owners
separate
now.
owners now?
Yeah, they're all separate owners, all the lots.
are we gonna see them too?
We haven't done anything with that, right? With lot 3? We haven't seen anything from them?
No.
Well, that's an approved plan.
Yeah.
that you
Well,
guys
yeah,
saw.
That's what I mean, sorry, yeah.
It's an approved
one of
plan.
the,
It's an
like,
approved plan,
four-
but they haven't asked for any changes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, was one of these
Well, there
lots
was a lot.
rejected, and then they combined the two lots
So I
together?
think we saw 4
Yes.
lots.
Yeah.
and
This lot
they
is-
Changed it to 3.
Is
Yeah.
that lot 3 on this plan what was, used to be lot 4?
It used to be lot 4.
Yeah, because it still says the 150 well radius lot 4 on your plan.
Oh, does it?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's part of our confusion is we're remembering the first time we saw it, it was 4 lots.
Yeah, the
combined.
number 2 got denied,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
two got combined into three and became two.
Which made sense, actually, given how many constraints there are.
The location of the well for this house is 44 feet from Rochester Road. Is that a setback, or is that just arbitrary?
Is that for the septic?
Yeah.
Can that be moved closer to Rochester Road?
I'd have to check with the engineers on that.
Is it
So,
Okay.
detrimental to have it?
No, that's part of the septic system design. What do you got in mind there?
A lot of scribbling going on.
Well, I'm thinking if Lot 3, if we could get them to move their well back to the upper right-hand corner of their property there, where, right at the corner of the wetland. Can you scroll down a little bit? The other way. Yeah, right up. The map puts that 150-foot arc around here, and then go the other way. If this were to move here, that would put that arc right here, leaving this now clear of a wellhead. And you can move the septic there and then twist the house to fit better into that, into the 100.
Right. So how do you do that?
I don't know. I'm trying to come up with something that would be acceptable.
That's a long way to run a well to a house.
It's been done.
No, I know, I'm just saying.
But they also have more land over this way.
Right, we don't know what's going on.
We don't know what's going on over there. I mean,
That's
right?
true.
So they don't necessarily have to go way the heck up over that way, you know? We could- I
Well,
mean,
and that's true.
but these guys haven't come before us yet, right?
Right.
No, we haven't, so we don't know what they're
Well,
gonna do.
well, they have an approved plan, so
No,
they
yeah.
don't necessarily
The
have to
only
come
reason
before
they're in
you.
front of us is
Yeah.
because they're changing the approved
Yeah,
plans.
if they go with what,
Oh, I
that
got you.
house
They-
got approved under, it was called Lot 4,
Yeah.
and this is that site plan.
When did we
That's
approve
this
that?
house. This was, same, I think it was all the same time, really. It
yes,
was-
they were all
Yeah,
done
they
at
all
the same
done-
Yeah,
time.
they came in
Yeah,
together,
this
that's
was-
right.
Yeah, May 15th,
Yeah, they don't have a whole lot of room to the right.
yeah.
No, because there's another driveway that goes back there to another house.
Yeah.
It's back in the woods by the old dump.
I'll be honest, I was amazed that they were able to get what they got the first time. I agree with you, Savory. I'd like to know what the calculations are,
Yeah.
the square footage now compared to what was before.
Yeah, the square footage between the 65 and 100 from from the first plan and this one.
Including the porch.
Including the porch.
For the buildings themselves, for the houses themselves?
Hmm?
For the, you're talking about houses, house in the first one, house and
Yes.
garage,
Yes, the
and house and
amount of-
garage and porch?
Yes. Basically looking for the amount of impervious, the square footage of impervious surface in both plants, between the 65 and the 100.
Because I had the percentage is, 40% is in the 100, but that wasn't including the porch.
Right.
Right.
My guess is that porch is gonna push it up to or
But you
over
wanted
50.
square footage, not necessarily percentage.
I don't know if I
Well,
put, maybe put
percent, I
right
mean,
at,
we're going to know percentage anyway.
We got no
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
percentage if we get the square footage.
But I
Right,
just
we can
want
figure it out,
I
yeah.
want to see how much more of an impact this has. And, you know, we basically do our guidelines you know, we come up with a 50% based on things that have come before us before, but this is a different animal. My other concern with anything like this, not just this one, but anything that is that close to the 65-foot line is the question to me of how do you keep people out of that?
Yeah, encroachment's an issue.
Encroachment into the 65-foot zone, you know. And the answer, which we did on Indian Street, is a fence right along the 65-foot. So kids and lawns and toys and stuff
And
can't.
signs and stuff, too.
And we
Also
have-
signs.
Also signs.
Well, the signs are there.
Signs,
The
people
signs
can walk
are
by
already there.
signs.
Yeah.
People can walk by signs, people don't walk by fences. And I just think that that's a little bit, you know, claustrophobic, or could be.
Can you also give us the exact measurement from the 65 to the corner of the property to the house as well?
Yeah, the house and the porch, they're
And the
about,
porch.
they all look about the same, but.
Yep.
Okay. All right, anybody else have anything? Any other questions? We want to talk about the driveway?
I was gonna say, that was where I was going next. The driveway's real close to the 65-foot too.
Yeah.
Even though it is, I'm assuming gravel, it should be specified on the plan, but it's not.
Right.
Gravel, it's gravel because you guys are require that.
Like I said, we would want to see that on the plan as gravel.
The only problem with light, but one thing we did though on Indian Street was they took the garage off the house. Remember that? To make it so
Yeah.
it fit better.
Right.
And I don't know if everyone wants to do that, but, you know, it's something else that we,
That would be a question for the homeowner who's right behind us. If you,
Right, right.
I don't know if you want to do that or,
yeah. That's nothing we asked them to do on Indian Street, so it would fit, the house would fit.
Right.
Better, yeah.
It would
What's
be
that?
more,
You get it to fit
shift
better.
it more.
It just shifts the house over.
I'm just wondering if also on the pad that's outside of the garage, evidently parking and turning around, et cetera, and then it heads down the driveway right along the 65, if the driveway portion of that could come in from the south side.
you mean coming in from here, like that?
Yeah, come in and.
Like
and-
curve it around?
Yeah,
Curve
yeah,
into there?
stay within the 100, within the 200 foots and then till the very end and then curve out into a.
So you have the same pad area, but
Yeah.
you just
Yeah,
come in from the,
yeah. Yeah. That's what I was-
Yeah, that would eliminate all that driveway in that.
Yeah, a lot of it.
A lot of it, yeah.
All right.
Anything else? Anybody?
No,
No?
just those things.
All right, our next meeting is April 1st, 2 weeks from tonight. Is that enough time, or do you want to go to the one after that?
so that'd be enough to make some changes.
Yeah, that's fine with me, April 1st is fine.
Yeah,
April 1st?
yep.
Okay. All right. I will entertain a motion to continue this hearing until Wednesday, April 1st.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to continue the hearing for Rochester Road Lot 2, amended order of conditions to Wednesday, April 1st. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none? We're good.
Great.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. Next up is the minutes. Did everyone get a chance to read the minutes from March 4th?
I did.
Okay. Does anybody have any corrections or anything? Any problems with it? All right, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
So
So-
moved.
And got it first, second?
Okay, I'll take the second.
All right. And then Carl. Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of March 4th. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none? We're good to go with those.
I have one quick thing about minutes, actually. So, with Ashley gone, I was asked to see if you guys are okay with, if there's a new, or sorry, I don't know where I'm going with this. There's a possible new minute taker, but she requested that she could do them remotely. Would the commission be okay with the minutes being based off of recordings, like the YouTube or anything like that? Or do you guys want your minute taker here?
I mean, Ashley used to do it quite a bit.
Ashley's done it remotely.
Remotely,
Okay.
so that's,
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
I have no
I
problem
don't
with that.
Okay.
It's nice having them here,
Yeah.
but
It's
Yes,
more about the,
because she was a big
how
deal.
good of a minute taker
Yeah.
they have.
Did you take her sign with her?
what-
I don't know. We can look. She probably did.
Yeah, so it was just a matter of like, we have someone who could do it. Like, I mean, I don't know if she's like 100% confirmed, but like, yeah, she'd be good to go, but, or we'd have to like put out a
As long as we're
posting.
audible on the YouTube, which I assume we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. That's fine. The town knocked down the building,
I saw that.
and today there was a dumpster there, and they've started loading all of the stuff into the dumpster.
Looks like they were done when I went by.
A
lot of it was
There wasn't
done.
much left of it, for sure.
Yeah, it's funny, I went by there a couple of times, and each time, and 20 minutes apart, and each time more was done, but there was no one around. It was almost like magic.
Get it between coffee breaks.
Yeah, I guess. So, yeah, just, so that's good,
Yeah, so that got the approvals from Select Board and Historic Commission, and they did that work, and so
okay,
the
good.
commission did their part.
All right, good. And also, I watched the Select Board meeting from last night, and the Select Board voted to not purchase the Mayflower Road 7 lots.
I was gonna bring up the fact that the meeting before that, they were exploring ways of paying for it, and conservation funds came up in conversation.
It came up again last night, too.
Yeah.
But there was not enough, and also the CPC said no as well.
Yeah, I was aware of that as well.
I knew you would be. So that's good.
And after the field visits, Olivia and Ann and myself, we went over to 44 Lakeview because she'd never been there to see.
Oh, okay.
And explained to her what, that we had stuff on in the works, like the fence and all that stuff. So she's aware of that.
Did you tell her she has to cut the grass?
Yeah.
I was told
She knew that Emil had done that once in a
Actually,
while.
I brought that up later and was told I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I have a crayon drawing.
Yeah, the crayon
The
drawing.
Dan's
yeah.
crayon schematic. I may or may not. I don't know. I think that I kept it.
And we were kind of almost there, right, with getting money?
Yeah, we were.
Yeah.
And
So close.
No, I don't think I have it. I don't think I have Dan's with me.
I didn't refresh on the warrant, but if I'm not mistaken, the labor cost portion is on.
On 44th?
town- Yeah, is on the warrant.
Okay.
for-
Yeah, oh, yeah,
from the
that's right.
CPC. Yeah, the labor aspect of it. I
Yes,
guess
it's
like,
CPC.
it's CPC,
Yeah, it's
right. That's
It's part
CPC.
of the CPC funding.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because we went back to CPC for more money for labor, right?
Yes.
Because it was all going to be in kind at one point.
okay.
All right, is there anything,
No, that's just like for your own light reading.
all right, just so you know, the summer before COVID, the town hired interns, a few interns for the summer. I don't know if the budget allows for that this year, but the interns were always looking for something to do, and one of the things that we had come up with for the interns to do in the summer of 2020, which didn't happen because of COVID, was to work with the assessor department and put on each assessor's card for residences if they were contiguous to a wetland. So, you know, when they were doing a search to buy a home, they would, you know, they would see that there were wetlands issues. So, I mean, this is the, you know, this says the homeowner doesn't know anything about wetlands and permitting. And that was our attempt to try to let people know that, you know, that this house that they just bought is...
It's gonna
you
fall
know,
in jurisdiction.
Yeah, it falls under our jurisdiction. And so I don't know, you keep your ear to the goings-on in town hall and see if they're doing anything with interns this summer. Don't know if the budget's gonna allow for it, but if so, we have some work for them to do.
That'd be a good thing, yeah.
Is Olivia aware of what happened with South Main Street with Gary signing off on a building permit? And just in how we try to not have that happen again?
Probably not. That was on the,
That was on the corner of Lakeview and South Main.
Right.
yes.
And Gary had inadvertently signed off on a permit building.
Yeah, Olivia, I think
Started the whole thing.
when we went to the conference, I talked to you about that. Remember I said the houses on South Main, the agent
Yeah,
accidentally
just
signed the
like-
building permit, and then we had this whole issue.
Yes.
So she kind of knows, but it wasn't a lengthy, detailed discussion.
Okay.
It's just something to be aware of. If
Oh,
you
you're
are
just bringing
asked
up like when I do sign offs.
to- When
and
you do
whatnot,
sign
yeah.
off, just, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let us know what's
I
going
think
on.
make sure that,
Yeah.
we thought we made it clear we didn't want that to be
Luckily, like-
signed off.
Most, I think like any of the sign offs I've done, like, I didn't even have to question about like wetlands or anything like that, because
Yes.
they were
Needless to
nowhere
say,
near.
we
This
were-
But,
this was one that was Carver's bylaw, wasn't a state law, it was a Carver bylaw that's not through
oh, okay.
on the agent at the time. So
Right.
it's just something to be aware of, that's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, anything else from
I don't
anybody?
take those sign offs lightly.
No, I hope you don't.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Can I get a quick minute?
Sure.
If you have time.
Yes, sure.
Absolutely, come back.
No problem?
No, come back up.
I haven't, or we haven't idea. Yeah. Could you pull that up for a second, please?
This one, yeah.
So, do you mind if I walk?
No, right, no, go ahead.
I don't know how you got the fancy kick on.
Yeah.
Now we can't hear you,
You
but
gotta
that's
speak
okay.
up loud now.
We have the existing driveway right here that services that, and we're talking about lying off that. If we just go like that, instead when we have less new driveway, and obviously we get rid of the fence, so we kind of have that portion right there, sort of, that portion right there. Would that be a workable solution?
That's better. That's certainly better. You're basically going across the backyard of that existing house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still within the 65.
Yeah, but it's, I don't know.
Very close to those wetland markers.
I mean,
I don't see there's a lot.
assuming we split kind of like right here, if we were to get the easement of that distance and that distance, kind of seems
Yeah,
pretty comparable with what would work. And then, you know, maybe do like a small little driveway right here out of the 65 for the ADU house.
right. Can you zoom in on that, Olivia?
I got one for you.
All right. Yeah. So you just have this go around, so it'd be from here to here pretty much, and then get within the 100, or be within the 65.
What's the deal?
So this driveway exists, so they would take this driveway and extend it into here and bring this down to meet it. So it would only be a little bit of,
Yeah, kind of like a.
right.
But that's only wide enough for motorcycles.
Maybe a little bit wider.
I practice my public speaking, so not my drawing.
All right, so kind of,
Be like that.
Well, yeah, you got the house here, so we can,
get a little creative with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think you would shift the fence or just not have a fence anymore?
We could get rid of the fence if that's what you guys.
I don't think a fence is a good idea, to be honest with you, but
It's a nice to have,
Yeah.
not a need to have, and
yeah.
This is certainly more
And,
amenable.
and, you know, my feeling is that this is going across a backyard, which has probably been used as a backyard for
Oh, yeah.
forever, and it's tamped down.
And there's a septic tank back there too, an old one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so,
Yeah. yeah, all right.
I mean, this has to be a variance, though, right?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's within 65
Yeah.
foot.
So, they have to come back, right? To-
Yeah, well, this is just a discussion
Yeah, this
tonight.
was just
Yeah, yeah.
discussion
we
anyways.
still have to file all this
Yeah,
stuff.
be a
but
refile, yeah.
I don't want to waste any of our time if it's
Right.
something.
I think that this is a much better solution, to be honest with you.
No, that's great news, thank you.
That is a better
So
solution.
we can,
What do you guys think?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I agree
agree.
with that.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that.
and then we'll just have them, I'm assuming there won't be
Yeah.
an issue, but, move the
Yeah,
thing right there and
Yeah.
then do a small little
You
driveway
can
right
get
there.
septic tanks too, you can drive over, so it's not an issue really, you know?
well, no, I
No.
mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to, but.
No, they make heavy
If
duty.
anything goes wrong. it's
They make
gonna be
ones that you can
early,
put in the parking lot, basically, you can park trucks on, so I mean, you can.
Yes,
get-
I know, but no, if they just move this, if they move this over
Yeah, yeah,
here,
yeah, yeah.
that's off, away from the
That's
driveway.
Least of the problems.
I
Yeah,
think that's a less disturbance. We still might
Yeah.
ask you to put a split rail fence, just to protect the wetlands a little bit. You know what I mean?
That was kind of the idea with the
Yeah,
fence, was it-
yeah.
I know it's in the 65, but it
Right.
creates like a corner.
But this is an existing
Alright.
dwelling and, whatever,
okay.
Even around here, though, we'd still probably like to have a split rail fence, at least at the 65, because we're
Well,
close. But that's
The
not far
tree
enough away.
line is, yeah, the
Yeah,
tree
that's
line's
far
out here, that's not too bad.
Yeah, not too far away.
And it's sloped.
But down over
Two.
here, I think that'll be a good idea.
Yeah.
Something, some sort of boundary mark.
Could
Yeah.
we do almost like a split rail or some sort of fence to follow the driveway so it,
Yeah,
creates
yeah.
that buffer there and then
Right.
that
Yeah,
driveway
that's
and
fine.
then just,
That's
fine.
natural woods?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fine. I think. Good idea.
No, good solution.
Yeah, that's a lot,
much better.
lot more appetizing.
Yep.
And then my other question, sorry
Yes.
to take up more time.
Now you're
No,
pushing
it's
it.
fine.
Or-
No, no, no.
This is a good one for you guys.
I'm just going to Giorgio's.
We're gonna get Chinese after this. In terms of like natural plantings, is that part of the permitting process or?
It can be put in as an order of conditions if
Okay.
you want to have your engineer indicate what kind of trees are going to go in there, and that becomes part of the record.
Okay.
But-
I didn't know if I needed to or if at some point I.
Sometimes we make people do that when they
When they're taking stuff away.
taking stuff
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you're not really,
In this case.
Yeah.
this backyard is open, right?
It's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all
It's all
open.
grass, right?
I
So
think
they
there's
just,
like a garden here with some.
but I think as long as you're gonna keep this gravel, right?
Yeah,
Good.
Yeah.
So it's impervious.
Yeah.
So
This
it's
part is
permeable.
paved.
yeah, but that's
That's
existing.
Just leave
That's
that and then we'll just go
grandfathered
gravel
in,
off of
yeah.
that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have
Yeah.
them draw that up and.
Come back.
So, I mean, the new bylaw, though, because they fall under the old one, right? We have 100 feet from a wet.
No, they have to come back with a new plan because
Yeah.
they're keeping
Well,
the
you guys
house.
had decided rather than an amended anew, just because of the
Right.
keeping the house and
Yes.
whatnot, so.
What's that?
It's a new variant.
It's going to be a new filing because
New-
they're keeping the house now. It was such
Right,
a change.
Yeah, but I was just wondering, on the new bylaw, you have to be 100 feet above the house, right? Is it gonna change this location?
No,
Because they're 94 feet away? I mean, to be 6 feet, a little bit up. You know what I'm saying? We have the new bylaw saying you have to be 100 feet from the bog.
right, but between 165 is our discretion. It's not a variance.
But doesn't the new bylaw say something, no house is 100 feet of a bog?
It just brings it in front of us.
I just think it makes it
Yeah.
our
Just
jurisdiction.
brings it under, okay.
It brings it out because it's up.
So that'll all be
versus
part of the
what it
variance,
was.
right?
Right, and this is a wetland.
It's a
It's not
wetland anyway.
not necessarily a bog. Our new bylaw is about an upland bog being considered a bog, a wetland.
Oh, okay.
So,
Bog has a different definition. Is that right?
well, we changed the
Yeah.
definition.
We tried to clarify it.
Try to get rid of gray
Because it was really
areas.
confusing. So,
Okay, there you go. All right.
Do you want to do another informal, or do I just get this drawn up and submit that?
I think you just get it drawn up.
Yeah.
I would proceed.
Because
But
also,
it'll
like,
take
once your
time.
hearing's open and if there's other changes, you can like still revise the plan. It's not like whatever you bring
Then
to
we
the
have to
first
vote on
hearing.
it.
It's like
Okay,
locked
perfect.
in, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Have a good night.
it's good thinking to come ahead of time. There's not a lot of options.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Good night.
All right, good night. All right, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Thank you, Area 58.